Welcome everybody to Practical Wisdom Stories. Our guest today is Harpreet Kaur, and she is an old friend and a previous student of mine. Now has become even more of my teacher. Of course, that's oftentimes how it happens. Harpreet, one reason I especially wanted to reach out to you was the first time I interviewed you, there was the thing that was happening in the world was there was violence and prejudice that we were facing, and you were speaking out as a Sikh woman and about like having those conversations with your kids. So that seems so relevant right now with some of the hurt and pain that our country is going through. And so just you're such a good advocate. So just I guess maybe wanted to start off with what is your advice to us in this difficult times?
Yeah, Nikki, I remember that was few years back, right? When a Sikh man was actually shot in the parking lot, or actually in front of their home, just outside the garage. And guess what? Things haven't changed, right? The different skin color, but it's still so relevant, right? And our African American friends are facing it, and so I guess the advocacy we all can do, be it white, be it brown like me, or any kind of minority or diverse background, is that be there, right? Stand up, voice your opinion, saying how I can help. Find yourself how you can help. Why I think the Black community is tired. They're exhausted, right? They're sad, they're angry, and so am I, right? So at this
so
point,
am I.
Yeah, right. Like, so I think they just being there and saying I'm there for you and I will stand by you will go far, right? And that's the same thing I would say at this point. Let's not be silent. Let's stand out. Let's use our forums, right? Our LinkedIn forums, our Instagram forums, our Twitter forums. They need us. They need us at this point. And that is the same thing which I'm doing at home, raising two minority kids who do look different. I'm fearing as a mom as well. So I think if we don't stand up this time for our future generations, you're all in a mess.
And you've really started a movement and owned your hashtag. So tell us about how that has grown, because I feel like it was the very beginning, the first time you came on video a couple of years with me. And so what has changed for you since that time?
I am enough. I feel like I'm enough.
Okay.
I have stopped blending in. And obviously the hashtag why blend in when you're born to stand out. Guess what? It's a kid story, right? It's Dr. Seuss, right? But at the same time, it's so relevant to all of us. So I just started using that because every time I was writing something, I felt like that's so me. And so I just use that, and then from the time you and I have met, I think our friendship and our Dale Carnegie connection goes like almost 5-6 years back now. And I've learned that you have to be bold enough, you have to stand out for what you believe in. And that's what I think Dale Carnegie also taught me as well, right? Leadership for success, right? And skills for success. And so I have kept them in my mind, in the back of my head, and then grown with it.
And tell us about your, I think a lot of the listeners are wanting to know like how to develop your voice and your confidence to be able to speak out, and you even said about like being an advocate. So tell us about your journey to really become enough. Like, I think that is a lifetime goal. So what's an experience in your life that's helped shape that?
I would say a lot of trying to find myself. If I have to say I found myself 20 years back, that would be a straight lie. It took me long to find who I am and be okay with my own skin, be okay with what I bring to the table.
Right.
And so finding what is your superpower, what is your uniqueness. So you have to dig deep.
Yeah.
And to find what is your superpower you're bringing to the table. For example, if I have to give my example, right? I'm a mom, I'm a tech leader, I'm an abstract artist, I'm a speaker. That defines me.
Right.
Each one of them has a separate entry and an exit point. So I had to literally call myself that, what is Harpreet? Harpreet is 4 of this, right? I'm nothing. If you just call me tech leader, no, I'm not. I'm a mom as well. Right. And the picture you see behind me is my picture. It's called Layers, right? I'm an abstract artist as well as I'm a speaker. Right. Yeah. So all 4 of them define me, and I keep adding on to it. So find what you bring to the table. Yeah. It can be, I'm a really good techie person, or I'm a really good singer, but then what else defines it?
Yeah.
So what's your whole self?
Yeah. And I love that, kind of behind me, the work-life connection is just something of value. I agree. Like, how do we be more wholehearted and bring all those pieces to integrated together versus separate? And a few years ago, you wouldn't have called yourself a speaker. So has there been a defining moment that now helps you to see yourself that way and embody that?
And I would say, you are one of key person on that, right? Pushing me. And so it took from there. And then I did some storytelling sessions internally at Microsoft. Yeah. People saw the potential, and, one after the other, word of mouth, it started, and I'm like, oh, I'm so scared. Right. But I think that was the starting point, and now I'm here. So I wouldn't have called myself a speaker 2 years, 3 years back. Now that every month I have 4 or 5 things where, I'm pushing myself. Yeah. To learn more, and even doing that commencement speech was a big thing, right? I'm like, oh, can I even do that? Yeah. But push yourself. If you want to be there, then you will get to it. So I will say, Nikki, calling myself a speaker, because I think that is a brand I'm building, and I want to keep building. There is a reason for that, because the impact I can have in my in my daily job is in my team or across the world. But when there are things which are in my heart. If I have to say that out, I have to set it out there, right? Get in front of the audiences and get my heart. And to coming back to your question of, was there a defining moment? Many. Having gone through a lot of rejections at work, different, interviews or all, having gone through managers who didn't see the potential in me and pushed me, having gone through really critical health issue and surviving that last year. I think those are my defining moments, that I feel like every day is a new day and I have to give back. So
and Harpreet, it's all those things that you mentioned are really challenges. And I think, just hearing you vocalize that is, you're saying hand in hand what goes to the superpower, and that, so, really to lean into that.
Yeah. And I, sometimes when you find those defining movements, that's when you find your direction and your North Star as well, right? Yeah. As I was going through those movements, use as learning movements, and say, what can I do? What did I learn from these movements? And how can I make sure my teams, my mentees, the people out there don't go through what I have gone through, and they learn from my experience.
And so thank you, because that's what we're hoping here, is that people can learn from your experience and be able to create I still think an experience is where we really learn, but sometimes having somebody else helps us to reframe it, or to have the courage to take on a new experience. One thing I'm always so curious about is how our childhood defining moments shape us. What is a moment from your childhood that either helped you discover your superpower or, made you who you are?
I think you know my story, but let me share it again. I've shared it in many podcasts as well. Growing up, I was always trying to blend in.
Mhm.
I didn't knew that I have the power to even stand out.
Okay.
I was in Indian society. People look at the color, which is so much in conversation these days as well, right?
Mhm.
And people thought the area I come from, northern side of India, you have to be really clear skinned and fair skinned, fair complexion, lighter skin. I
Mhm.
didn't have that growing up. And
Mhm.
so when you see my family, everybody was that. So I always there was a joke around that I was picked up from a train station. So
Mhm.
that was something which I lived with, and in
Mhm.
order to get the love from my parents, I was working really hard. So
Wow.
I was trying to work really hard to get over that feeling of that I'm an anomaly and I'm blending in.
Right.
And so, then growing up, with all this in my head, that causes you mentally it was ingrained, right? So I was always
Yeah.
trying to make sure that somehow I have to get the love and the attention. And
Mhm.
either you guys see me wearing this beautiful turban, but I was not like that. I had beautiful, I was trying all kind of makeup tricks, everything, right?
Yeah.
And so uh, when I started wearing this, that was the defining moment
Okay.
that
So embracing your turban was,
exactly. That was the defining moment for me. Like, I am beautiful. I've got the superpower. I'm unique. I have my own stories, and I will bring people along of
yeah.
every background. So I took that on me.
Yeah. Fantastic. If you were to summarize a message, practical wisdom that you would own and offer to the listeners, what is it?
Uh, there are three which I would say. First of all, find your identity, guys, right? Like, own it. It's not like our skin is different, but own it. If whoever you are, you're unique. Remember,
Mhm.
you're unique, right? So again, why blend in when you're born to stand out? Each one of you can stand out in your own ways. And
Yes.
then the second one I would say is a resilience message, right? Especially in this time, we are all going through this downward turn, but anytime life keep giving you lemons, keep making lemonade. It's hard, grieve for a moment, grieve, get it in, and then become even more stronger.
Yeah.
They say life is not a sprint, it's a marathon. I say, it's an ocean, right? Waves keep hitting you, but keep learning to surf higher and higher
Yeah.
from those things. And hope, we all need to have that message of hope.
Yeah.
And be hopeful. And these are all three connected, right? If you're standing out, if you're being resilient, then only we can give the hope and be
Yeah.
hopeful as well.
Yeah. Yes,
Yeah.
your hope certainly is contagious, Harpreet. And if our listeners want to hire you to speak or to give a commencement address, what's the best way we can get to know you better or
I
follow
am
you?
working on my website, girl. So whyblendin.com.
Okay.
And then connect me on LinkedIn. Look for
Okay.
Harpreet Kaur Microsoft. You will see a queen, and that's me.
Oh, you are a queen. Thank you so much for being generous to share your personal story, your struggles, and it's so relevant right now, being it brown or black, just talking about like how to be an advocate and just to use the gifts we have. So thank you for such an uplifting message in a time we really need it.
I will leave with a quote, which is, I think, very relevant at this point, Nikki.
Yeah.
That people will forget how you worked with them. People will forget, what you did with them, but people will never forget how you treat them. That
Mm,
is Maya Angelou quote, and I have a picture with her. I'm going to post it.
yeah.
It's so true. right? Especially in this time. So thank you so much for having a conversation with me. I love it.
Thank you. Well, it's been so inspiring to watch you grow and develop, be from getting nervous for the first time being on video to like your commencement address and, being booked out as a speaker, and such a timely message. So thank you so much, Harpreet.
And let me tell you, you are in my journey, right? You were the starting of the journey as well. So kudos to you, girl.
Oh, thank you. I think that's the beauty of mentoring and friendship, is that it's back and forth. That it's not a one way. I'm the mentee. At different points in the journey, we just grow side by side over these years. So thank you for, I guess, being in my village and being one of my people that's really held me up and helped me to gain insight and confidence as well. So thank you. It's proof that giving is receiving, that good karma.
Exactly. You got me and I got you.
That's it.
My name's Nikki Kleppel, and one thing I love about my job working with both Dale Carnegie and at a large technology company in Seattle is the global diversity of the people, and really becoming friends with my clients and learning more about different cultures. And Harpreet is going to share a really inspirational take for us.
Well, thank you, Nikki. I love working with you. And, the thing which I was trying to tell was that I've been thinking a lot lately. I'm a Sikh. I proudly don my crown every day. It's called turban. My husband wears one. My son, 12-year-old Meherwan Singh, he wears one. And I have a 4.5-year-old, Chetkur Kaur, who loves to don it when we go for our religious congregations over the weekends. And I'm hoping she'll join the clan soon.
Yeah.
No pressure there. But with the recent events which have happened overall in US, there has been an increased discrimination or racial attacks. We've heard the one shooting in Texas, and there was actually a recent one in Kent, where 39-year-old Sikh man was actually shot. And it's really upsetting.
It tells that conversation that you had with your son about it, too.
Yeah, so the thinking which I've been having, right? We've got so many outpouring love from our well-wishers. We've got calls from my parents, my friends, my family, from everywhere. But the thing which, they've been saying to us, be careful. Right, to be, don't go out at night, always be there with your son. Don't go for grocery shopping at night. Harpreet, make sure you're not going out for grocery shopping.
And how do you make your kid feel brave?
Exactly, right? Like, and that's kind of, I've been thinking about it, and how to, have this pep talk with my son to be a little more careful.
Yeah. So tell everyone, what pep talk is there?
Yeah, and guess what? I didn't do one. Because in my religion, in Sikh religion, we our guru said Ikonkar Satnam Kartapurk Nirpo Nirvair. I'm just going to use two words out of it, Nirpo and Nirvair. Nirpo means no fear, right? And Nirvair means don't be enemy of anybody, right?
Yeah.
Love each other, right?
Yeah.
You've got to love your neighbor. I think we need more love.
Yeah.
So guess what? I didn't do a pep talk. I said he is strong, he knows our culture, he knows our faith, and so, we are strong. We're not going to sit at our homes. We are going to don our crowns and, stand out. So, the one thing which I remind myself and my son and, anybody I talk to, we don't need to blend in.
Right.
So why blend in when you're born to stand out, right?
Yeah.
So that's about it.
And this message could be for anyone. I love the spirituality element of it, and as a Christian, and maybe that's why I convinced you to do this, is for people watching, is first of all, we're all the same. We're all united.
Yeah.
I'm Christian. Those two things, those are the two big messages. Number one in the Bible is be not afraid. And the main message is love your neighbor. And that's the same thing. So it's like, Sikh, Christian, Muslim, Jew, like there's so many of the same that we're all connected. So thank you for just reminding us that, and to kind of put a face on friendship of that,
I love you.
one company, one country. You know, there's a Marianne Williamson poem too that says it's our light, not our darkness, that frightens us. You know, we ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant? And I love your point too. It's like we're all born to make manifest the good that is in each of us, and so to not be afraid, to remember we're all connected, and to let our light shine. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.